Hey guys, so on This Day in History, we're going to be going back 930 years to 1093 when St. Anselm of Canterbury was consecrated as the Archbishop. And usually in the Catholic Church is when they use archbishops. Then we are jumping 61 years to 1154 when Andre the Fourth was elected Pope, becoming the only Englishman to occupy the Papal throne. Again, another Catholic Church. Then we are jumping 359 years to 1533 when Ivan the Terrible proclaimed Grand Prince of Moscow. On this date in 1533, the 3-year-old who became Ivan the Terrible was proclaimed Grand Prince of Moscow upon the death of his father, Grand Prince Vasily III, with his mother ruling as in Ivan's name until her death in 1538. Now we are going to we jumped 371 years from 1154 to 1533. Now we are going to jump 359 years to 1892 when General Francisco, who led the nationalist force that overthrew the Democratic Second Republic in the Spanish Civil War from 1936 to 1939, and subsequently was Director of Spain until his death, was born. Now we are going to jump 26 years to 1918. When U.S. President Woodrow Wilson departed from France to attend the Paris Peace Conference, where following the cessation of hostilities in World War I, the League of Nations was established and the Treaty of Versailles was drafted. Now we are jumping 27 years to 1945, where the Senate voted 65-7 legislation permitting U.S. to participate fully and actively in UN organization. The UN is the United Nations. I want to say I know the US and I want to say Great Britain, but I'm not entirely sure. But there are quite a few nations in the United Nations. What the UN is solely for is every nation in the world coming together peacefully to talk. Or that's what it's supposed to be for. Not saying that they all come peacefully, but they're supposed to. Now we're jumping 24 years to 1969. I'm sorry, I skipped one. We are jumping 6 years where the U.S. government demanded release of 4 U.S. airmen and a U.S. plane forced down by Soviet fighters over Hungary while en route from Western Germany to Yugoslavia. Now we are jumping 18 years to when the American civil rights leader Fred Hampton, a charismatic member of the Black Panthers, was shot and killed during a police raid in Chicago. His death caused public outrage, and the ensuing investigations brought greater security of the FBI's attempt to dismantle the Panthers and other Black organizations. We're going to jump a year to 1970 when the American rapper and entrepreneur Jay-Z, one of the most influential fighters in hip-hop in the 90s and early 2000s, was born. See, I actually could not tell if he was older than, 53? And it's like, once I did the math, I realized that he was only, 53? Which surprised me. Then we jumped 10 years to 1980, where several months after the death of drummer John Bonham, the British rock band Led Zeppelin announced that it was officially disbanded. The group later reformed for short one-off performance on several occasions. We're going to jump 2 years to 1982, where the trial of 280 Egyptians, all accused of conspiring to overthrow the government, got underway in Cairo. Most of the defendants were relatively young members of Al-Jihad, an Islamic foundation fundamentalist group bent on turning Egypt into an Islamic state. The accused were most part linked to criminals connected with violent uprising that occurred in Algiers shortly after President, and I know I'm going to completely botch this, Anwar al-Sadat was assassinated. God, I can't talk this morning. Assassinated on October 1981. Then we jump 14 years to 1996, when the unmanned space vehicle Paris Pathfinder was launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida, in order to explore the surface of Mars. And I think they did find some photos, I forget when they were released, found that there was some relative form of water on Mars. Again, I don't remember when those photos were released. Now we jump to 27 years to our current history. And we're going to go about our daily lives. Until the next video.